Alright guys, so you're coming across this video because you got a problem with an oxygen sensor. Whatever your problem is, guys, I'm going to demonstrate very simply how to test for a bad oxygen sensor. Right here we have a factory oxygen sensor from my 2007 Honda Civic, and this one is still working good. But we did buy a new sensor off of eBay, which is right over here. This is a direct replacement sensor off of eBay, and this is a generic version, no name brand. We got this for 30 bucks. Original sensor costs about $120. Now, we just recently installed this sensor onto the Civic, and it triggered a check engine multiple times. So, why is this triggering a check engine light? It is brand new. I know it is a cheapo, but why is it not working? Well, on this video, guys, I'm going to show you how you can test your oxygen sensors. It is very simple. There's two things to test, and I will explain it to you in this video. All right, guys, on most modern oxygen sensors, you have 4 wires. The 2 black ones are for the heater element of the oxygen sensor, and what that does is it helps heat up the oxygen sensor so it can read the fuel signals fast and accurately. And then those actual fuel signals are coming from these 2 wires. So essentially, we are going to be testing the heater element right here by testing these wires, the resistance in ohms using a voltmeter right here. And then we're also going to be testing the signal wire, measuring in voltage. And a normal oxygen sensor operates between a voltage of around 0.01 to 1 volt. So we're going to test those right here in the kitchen, boys. So make sure your girlfriend is not home when you do this. Alright, so the first thing I want to demonstrate, I already have my multimeter set in ohms. I put it at 200, which is the lowest amount. I've seen the ohm readings anywhere from 3 to 20 on a cold sensor. So essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these 2 black wires, dab one here, and we got the resistance of the sensor, which is reading just about 2.9, 2.8. And at first I was worried. I'm like, maybe the resistance is not the same as a factory sensor. But I actually did check the resistance on the factory sensor. Just went outside to pull this thing out in a blizzard. So smash that like button. Let me show you guys the resistance of this one. Well, there you guys go. The resistance between these 2 sensors are pretty much identical. I was expecting to see one being about 3, one being about 10. Was the resistance and the heater element the broken part of this sensor? No, it was not. Both sensors have a good working heating element, so that is not our issue. So if you check that on your vehicle and you're not getting resistance, you got a bad heater element. Now, if it is working, now your second issue will be the signal that this sensor is creating and possibly not giving your engine management system or your ECU. So again, we're going to check these 2 wires, which are the signal wires. We're going to switch this to voltage now. 20 voltage is more than enough. Again, this is only going to monitor 1 volt. So here we go. All right, what do we got? We got 0.01, which is fine. 0.01 means that it's very lean, and it's currently getting a lot of oxygen that's in the atmospheric air. So that is a perfectly normal reading. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take that atmospheric air away from the oxygen sensor by turning on this gas stove here. And that's going to decrease the oxygen content around the sensor, and it should thus increase this number here in voltage. The less oxygen that the sensor sees, the voltage should climb higher towards that 1 volt number. So at first you might notice that the sensor may take a little bit to warm up, and once it's warm up, you will see the voltage climbing. This is replicating your engine running. Now remember, guys, when your engine first starts, it is on open loop, meaning it is not using the oxygen sensor for it to warm up the first minute or so, depending on outside temperatures. But once the oxygen sensor warms up, you will see that it is starting to adjust the air-fuel ratio. And right now it is recognizing that there's less air around the oxygen sensor, and this number is increasing with voltage. But as you guys can see, it's been a few minutes, and the actual voltage is stuck from 0 to 0.01. This is an indication that the sensor signal is actually dead. When an oxygen sensor goes bad, it can get stuck, either reading rich or reading lean. This is a perfect example of the sensor stuck reading lean. So you plug this sensor into your vehicle, it warms up, and then it goes into this stuck lean condition. And because it's not sending an accurate signal to your engine triggers a check engine light as a safety mechanism. And as you guys can see, this sensor is completely stuck and it's not moving forward, even though the sensor is definitely warmed up, and it's just not recognizing that rich condition. So I'm going to swap sensors now to the factory sensor, and you guys will see the difference of a working oxygen sensor with working signal inputs. Alright, here's my factory oxygen sensor. Let's get it on the heater here. Alright, here we go. It's already sensing something. It's going to have to warm up just for a hair before it actually starts reading this. As you guys can see right now, it is at 0.20 and climbing. So that means that this sensor is actually reading the oxygen content and reporting back properly, which it will be reporting back to the ECU. If the signal is working and getting interpreted back and forth to the ECU, this oxygen sensor is working properly. And as we tested the heater circuit, it had resistance, so it is working properly. So again, guys, the other oxygen sensor off of eBay is not sending the signal properly to the ECU, and therefore the ECU is triggering a check engine light. If you guys are having problems like this with your oxygen sensors, definitely check them out. I bought that eBay sensor about 4 months ago before I finally installed it. And again, it's out of the warranty period. I can't return it, and the damn sensor is bad and broken. So don't let that happen to you. Check an oxygen sensor as soon as you get it. It's cheap insurance. It's really simple to do. And I hope you guys learned something on this video. I ain't here for the money.